Polifena Hofilena, excuse me, Dean of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, and Madam Nina Teresa Chan Gonzaga, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Miss Amparita S. Maria, hopefully I don't get it wrong, the name, Director of Graduate Legal Studies Institute, Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, Mr. Ryan Jeremiah D. Kwan, the Program Officer, Graduate Legal Studies Institute, Ateneo de Manila, and Mr. Antonio Santiago, the Assistant to the Dean for Administration. Well, first of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mulya Wirana. I'm currently the Vice Director for the Office of International Cooperation of the University of Pancasila. I'm honored to be at this event as your host and moderator. Well, as we all know, we all gather virtually today for the signing ceremony of the MoU on academic affairs, on academic cooperation between the Faculty of Law of the University of Pancasila and the School of Law of the University of the Ateneo de Manila. It is a great honor and privilege for us to conclude a cooperation with such renowned university from the Philippines. It is our sincere hope that our endeavor today will be followed suit by other respected faculties from both our universities. And as a testament of our seriousness, you can see here that our esteemed rector, Professor Dr. Edi Tut and Ratno, who besides his busy schedule, insisted to be present in person to convey his support to our endeavor. I thank you, Mr. Rector, for your attendance. And besides, and follow suit, if I may, to introduce the delegation from our university in this podium. On my right, this is Ms. Dr. Samsu Rizal. He's the Vice Rector on Legal and Cooperation. And besides the Rector, of course, our esteemed Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Dr. Edi Pratomo, SAMA, who happens also to be my boss because he's at the same time is the Director of the International Office of the University of Pancasila. And in the far right is Dr. Zaitun Abdullah. She happens to be the Vice Dean on Academic Affairs. So this is, but besides that, other Vice Rectors and Deans, prominent staff from the university are also witnessing virtually through Zoom. And last but not least, if I may, allow me also to convey our gratitude and sincere appreciation to the Indonesian Embassy in Manila for their untiring effort and support in order to make this collaboration between our two universities possible. Without further ado, I believe that you have already before you a tentative agenda for our meeting today. I will invite comments perhaps of this tentative agenda if it is agreeable, so we can proceed right away. So is there any comments from your side? No?
No comments from on our side on the tentative agenda, and it is it is acceptable to us.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir. So then we can proceed accordingly with the agenda. It's not tentative anymore. So we start with the remarks from our Charge d'Affaires at interim from the Embassy of Indonesia in Manila, Mr. Widya Rahmanto. The floor is yours, sir.
Terima kasih. My voice can be heard clearly.
Yes. Yes.
Let me check. Okay. Yang kami hormati Bapak Rektor Universitas Pancasila, Profesor Dr. Edi Tut Hendratno, yang kami banggakan, Dean Faculty of Law, is also my mentor, Ambassador Profesor Dr. Edi Pratomo, my mentor as well, Ambassador Mulya Wirana, Vice Director, Department of International Affairs, Universitas Pancasila, and also Dr. John Paul Vergara, Vice President Ateneo Professional Schools, Mr. Jose Maria Ovilenia, Dean Ateneo de Manila University, Faculty of Law, and also my colleague, Professor Aisa Palupi, Education Attaché in the Indonesian Embassy in Manila, all officials, colleagues from University of Pancasila and Ateneo de Manila University. Selamat pagi, selamat siang, magandang umaga. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is a pleasure to start this auspicious occasion by heartily welcoming everyone here in this virtual ceremony for signing of Memorandum of Understanding for academic cooperation between the University of Pancasila, Faculty of Law, and Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. I acknowledge that this milestone will enrich our bilateral relation in strengthening people-to-people contact and also marks the joint effort of the two universities in strengthening cooperation in the field of education. As we all know that this MoU provides a framework where both universities to collaborate in exchange of lectures, students, joint research activities, exchange of publication, and other materials, and many more cooperation. As we all know, University of Pancasila and Ateneo de Manila University are the reputable universities that established with different background and history. But this is not preventing us to bring them knowing each other. Law is the area where both institutions could develop engagement based on mutual interest of both sides. This might be just a start, but I'm sure and I hope it will open all channels of cooperation, not only in the field of law, but also cooperation in other field of education or other field of subject. With this and with the spirit of creating innovation and opportunities in education sector, I'm sure after designing it will develop long-standing and close cooperation as well as good collaboration in the future. I hope this great achievement will benefit all stakeholders in both universities and will develop the capacity of both Faculty of Law. In conclusion, I once again would like to congratulate and express my sincere appreciation to the University of Pancasila and Ateneo de Manila University, and also Education Attaché of Indonesian Embassy, and congratulations for making this operation a successful one. The Embassy of Indonesia in Manila will stand ready and will give our full support to the implementation of this MoU. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, selamat siang, maraming selamat.
I thank you, Mr. Widya Rahmanto, for your remarks. And now I will give the honor, the floor to the rector of the University of Pancasila, Professor Dr. Edi Tut Hendratno. The floor is yours, Honorable Rector.
Thank you, Ambassador Rana. Mr. John Paul Vergara, PhD, Vice President of Professional School, Ateneo de Manila University. Good morning, maybe good afternoon in Manila right now. Mr. Jose Maria Jovirena, Dean School of Law, Ateneo de Manila University. Good afternoon. I would like to say hi to Mr. Widya Rahmianto, the embassy staff or vice ambassador in Manila, and all the participants of the meeting today. Very good morning and very good afternoon in Manila. Mr. Rana introduced me as the rector of this university, but that's not complete because I have another status, which is I'm staff of the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Universitas of Pancasila, because I'm lecturing here. So he is my boss. Let me first extend our gratitude and appreciation to the Dean of School of Law, Ateneo de Manila University, Mr. Jose Maria Jovirena, and the Dean of Faculty of Law, Universitas Pancasila, Professor Dr. Edi Pratomo, who have made every effort and successfully established academic cooperation between our two universities. But I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Widya Rahmianto as well, because dahil sayo, because of you, it is happening today. Thank you very much. I'm confident that the signing of the MoU today will be mutually beneficial for both parties, particularly in developing legal studies by implementing exchange of lectures, students and administrative staff, joint research, exchange publication, sharing activities, and program in area of mutual interest. To be true, to be frank, we have long cooperation with another university, which is University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, almost 15 years. This matters is already done between our two faculties. So now we get married with University in Manila, and hope we can share our experience to do the same thing. If we are looking at the legal discipline and the profession for the next decade, that means we are looking at the world. This is constantly changing at a rapid pace. The advent of digital technology the menace of transnational organized crime, cybercrime, drug abuse, the global population, which continue to grow exponentially. The threat of pandemic are the challenges and opportunities that human beings must encounter and adjust to these new realities, particularly when it comes to maintaining law and order to our world with shifting norms and rules. Those are, among others, the challenging issue that we have to be able to address and respond in the framework of law and public policy in this changing society. Therefore, I am pleased that the Faculty of Law, University of Pancasila, and Ateneo de Manila University School of Law have come to an agreement to establish legal cooperation which could jointly respond these growing challenges that we must encounter in this changing society. Allow me also, before concluding my remarks, encourage the Dean of the Faculty of University Pancasila to explore my possibilities in establishing academic cooperation with Ateneo de Manila University on your respective studies so as to further expand to cooperation between our two universities for our mutual benefit. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Honorable Rector. And now I give the floor to the Vice President of Ateneo de Manila University, Dr. John Paul Vergara, PhD. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Vice Director of the International Office, His Excellency Ambassador Mulya Wirana, Chargé d'Affaires Interim of the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Manila, Mr. Widya Ramanto, Rector of the University of Pancasila, Professor Dr. Eddie Tot and Hendratno, Dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Pancasila, Professor Dr. Eddie Pratomo, our Dean of the Ateneo University School of Law, Attorney Joey Hofilenya, administrators and faculty from both our universities, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, or good day. First of all, on behalf of the Ateneo de Manila University, I would like to thank the University of Pancasila Faculty of Law for this partnership. I am, of course, honored to represent the university in this ceremony, and I look forward to the programs and initiatives that both our schools of law will engage in, especially in the areas of faculty and student exchange, as well as joint research. It is my hope that the collaboration will foster relationships between our faculty and enrich our respective offerings, and hopefully extend to other areas in the university. I'm of course glad to meet all of you online and hope to meet you in person in the future. Thank you and good day.
I thank you, the Vice President. And now we come to the remarks from the Dean, excuse me, of Faculty of Law from University of Pancasila, Professor Dr. Eddie Pratomo. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Director Ambassador Mulya Wirana. A very good afternoon to all. Let me first of all say hello to Vergara, PhD, Vice President in Professional School.
There is no voice.
Hello, yes. Now the microphone is on. Yes, much clearer. Let me first of all say a very good afternoon to all of us who are already at this Zoom meeting. First of all, I would like to say my special thanks to the Rector of the University of Pancasila, Professor Editor Indratmo, for his personal attachment so that he is now here with us despite his very busy schedule, but he has managed to attend these very important academic collaborations. Vice Rector, Mr. Vergara, and Dean Faculty of Law, Vilena, let me also say my special thanks to Pak Widi Rahmanto, Vice Ambassador, Sase Affairs ad interim with the Embassy of Indonesia in Manila. We have been many years together at the Foreign Ministry with him. He has been so instrumental in facilitating this collaboration so that the signing ceremony is now happening within us. I would also like to address my special thanks to Ibu Professor Aisyah Endah Palupi, Education Attaché at the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Manila. I know that Ibu has been working very hard in order to facilitate the academic cooperation between our two faculties and the two universities. It has been quite a long time that I have an imagination to have a collaboration, especially with Ateneo de Manila University, the very long history. It was established so many years in 1859. So you have been born in the past 100 years. I know that this university is very prestigious one in the Philippines, and we are quite grateful and happy to have this special collaboration. It is our wish that in the future we will have a very concrete collaborations. We would like to avoid what we call it by our rector to have a sleeping MoU. We would like to have an active MoU between both of us. As he has just mentioning about our collaboration with the University of Malaya, we have been collaborating with it about 15 years ago. And we have many programs doing academic cooperations. We would like also to realize this MoU by doing the several programs, including double degree program, joint degree, and if possible, we would like to have also a joint collaboration in the field of research and collaboration in the field of international webinar, especially during these pandemic situations. I would like to thank you once again for this collaboration, especially that this collaboration is very rare because this time is witnessed by the official representative of the government of Indonesia, by our embassy in Manila. I thank you once again that it is really an important happening that I need to report directly with the rector, and we are quite happy that that rector is with us this morning. Once again, I thank you very much, Vice Rector and the Dean. We would like to go ahead with this MoU and looking forward to having more concrete collaboration in the very near future. Thank you and good afternoon.
I thank you, Dean Teddy Pratomo. Now, remarks from the Dean of the Ateneo de Manila School of Law, Mr. Jose Maria de Pofileña. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. His Excellency Widja Ramanto, Chargé d'Affaires of the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Manila, as well as Professor Dr. Aisha Enda Palupi, Education and Culture Attaché of the Embassy of Republic of Indonesia in Manila, Professor Dr. Eddie Toet Henratno, the Rector of University of Pangasinan, His Excellency Ambassador Professor Dr. Eddie Pratomo, Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Pangasinan, His Excellency Ambassador Mulya Wirana, Vice Director of the Department of International Affairs of the University of Pangasinan, all our friends and colleagues from both the Embassy of Indonesia in Manila as well as the University of Pangasinan, and my colleagues as well from the Ateneo de Manila University. A good day to everyone. The Ateneo de Manila University School of Law was established in 1936. The Ateneo University, as was mentioned earlier, was in 1859, and it took a number of years before the Ateneo de Manila University decided to establish a law school, and that was in 1936. And therefore, this year marks our 85th anniversary in legal education. Since its founding up to the present, the legal education offered by the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law has been largely one that can be considered relatively parochial, in that it is largely a qualifying education, in that we prepare our students with the necessary knowledge of Philippine law to enable them to pass the licensure exam for lawyers in the Philippines. Over the years, however, we have felt the need to tweak, as we did, our education to introduce changes in content and informative skills and character building instructions in order to better prepare our students for the realities of legal practice in the present milieu beyond the time that they take and pass the bar exams. And that milieu includes a more expansive interplay of law as the world becomes more intertwined. For indeed, we believe that a more holistic, interdisciplinary, and cross-border approach to legal education will have definite benefits to our students when they immerse themselves in Philippine as well as global legal practice. The signing of this Memorandum of Understanding for Academic Cooperation between the Faculty of Law of Pangasinan University and the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law is thus very much welcome, and it is complementary to this continuing quest to make our legal education even more relevant and more impactful. For it assures us of an opportunity to broaden our perspectives as educators in law under collaborative programs that we may mutually agree to be in the best interest of our institutions, our faculty, and our students. We thank the initiative and efforts of our friends at the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Manila and the Faculty of Law of Pangasinan University for enabling us to reach this point in the pursuit of our common vocation in legal education. And so we are very much delighted to be here today for the signing of our MoU, and we look forward to working hand in hand with you in its realization. And more so, and even as we meet today virtually, we do look forward to a time when we can gather in person to meet each other in 3 dimensions, to shake hands in friendship, and continue our commitment to our own institutions. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Dean Hopil Lenya. And now we come to this most important part of our ceremony, that is the signing of the documents and exchange of the signed documents, and of course for our documentation for both of us, it will be taken picture by the University of Pancasila IT team. So if you allow me, so you can show the signed documents that is can be exchanged. Okay, so can the camera zoom the document? Okay, so
I think it's with the background, it's not clear enough, sir. Must be to turn off the background or
to turn the background.
yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Because not clear enough if with the background the document. Tapi
Okay.
or like Sir Jose, maybe on is in front of us.
Kameranya ke sini aja, ke kertas.
Okay. Because it's been signed already actually. So this is just to show that for the sake of documentation that the MOU has been signed by both sides. I think that's it. And now I will invite the staff to take the picture for all of us. Yes, in the screen. And for your information, after this, Professor Edi Pratomo will sort of invite journalists and we will also at the same time release a press release for publication of this important event. Because as I already mentioned, we attach great importance of this event and sincerely hope it will follow by concrete cooperation and also follow suit by other faculties as well. So is the picture been taken already? Okay, one, can you give? Okay, so we will share the picture with you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And the next item in our agenda is other matters for both parties. This is, of course, we will have just a short discussion on the follow-up of this memorandum. And any ideas also are very welcome to broaden this kind of collaboration. So first of all, I would invite either from the University of Pancasila or from the University of Ateneo de Manila to give comments, proposals, suggestions. Of course, not all can be concluded here. We have means of communications at the working level. So okay, Professor Edi Pratomo will like to present some ideas or proposal. I give you the floor to you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Ambassador Wirana. Under this very agenda item, other matters, I would like just to touch upon the commitment of our two faculties, especially. We would like also to suggest that in the near future, other faculties will follow us, will follow suit the Faculty of Law, because those two universities are ready, in fact, to have an umbrella agreement, and we have just signed before all of us. And in order to provide the full commitment of our two faculties, I would like to suggest, if it is agreeable to all of you in Ateneo de Manila University, number one, I would like to invite the Faculty of Law, Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, especially to initiate a joint collaborations, especially we will have an event which is very important to us, namely the establishment of the Indonesia Legal Clinic to be established very soon in this faculty, and the grand launching will be held on the 22nd of October. And during that time, I would like, with your permission, to invite Dean Faculty of Law to be with us to discuss and to exchange the experience, especially you have already established your clinic, and I would like to study more, especially the experience and best practices that is already experienced by your university. The date would be 22nd of October, and I would, of course, with your permission, to submit my formal submission and letter to the Dean and address also to Vice Rector, Vice President, that we will have a first collaboration in order to implement the full commitment of this MOU that we have signed just now. Number two suggestions, Mr. Moderator and the Dean and Vice President, I would also like to have a very special event on the 13th of December this year to celebrate the Article 4 of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, especially on the principle of an archipelagic state. As we are quite aware that Indonesia and the Philippines are both archipelagic states, we have been working very hard during the third conference in Montego Bay, Jamaica in 1982, that Philippines and Indonesia has been achieving a very significant progress, especially in establishing the very special chapter under Chapter 4 of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. We will celebrate that under the rubric of Nusantara Day. We have Prime Minister Juanda who declared an archipelagic doctrine in 1959 on 13 December 1957. I forgot. If you are agreeable with me, I would also like in due course to invite by formal letter to the Dean Faculty of Law. Those are two proposals, and I would like to have your positive response, if possible, at this very important event. I thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, Professor Di Pratomo. Is there any comments from the Dean of the Law School? I give the floor to you, sir. I think the mic is still mute. Sorry.
That's right. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. For His Excellency's Dr. Pratomo's suggestions, we are very delighted with the invitation, and we stand, of course, behind our understanding in our MOU to be willing to enter into areas of cooperation with the university as well. And therefore, we would be delighted to accept the invitation to share our experiences in the running of our own legal clinic at the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. We do have a long-standing legal aid clinic, which is formally known here as the Legal Services Center of the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law. And we would be very happy to be able to help in this endeavor of yours by sharing our own experiences. In addition, also, thank you for the invitation to the celebration of the Article 4, the UN Convention on the Law of the Seas. As you did mention, we are very similarly situated, being both archipelagos, and certainly, we do have common shared interests and common shared concerns and issues for which getting together to discuss this event is going to be very fruitful. So we thank you very much for those invitations, and we agree to pursue these types of cooperative endeavors between our universities. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dean. Well, So it's wonderful. So since you already sort of accepted the proposals that put forward by Dean Edi Pratomo, so I think well, the working staff will sort of proceed, with the cooperation. Is there any other proposals, perhaps, that you would like to convey or add in this item, other matters, from your side? Please, from
Well, I think if I may speak for the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law, I think there are many possible areas to cooperate. I'm afraid at the present time, just because of the challenges imposed by the pandemic, some of these ideas are a little challenging. So such as things like maybe a brief faculty exchange or student exchange, which of course will have to wait for more, for safer times. So as you will note from the Ateneo de Manila delegation right now, we are all in separate places online because the restrictions currently are such that we are not able to get together. But in the, I would propose, I guess, that throughout we can be freely exchanging thoughts and ideas, even on collaborative research undertakings. And though we do not have a specific proposal for a topic at this time, I think in principle, you can be assured that we are open to exploring productive collaborative research, and perhaps we can develop that through exchanges of communications periodically, beginning from this time on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Perhaps, is there any comments from the embassy, from the Charge d'Affaires, and from the education attaché? We sincerely hope, of course, your continuous support and cooperation are most valuable for us. I give the floor to the charge, or perhaps the education attaché. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ambassador Wirana. Yes, I think before I give the floor to education attaché of the embassy, I think we are really appreciating what initiative from University of Pancasila in this regard, and also some comment from Mr. Joy. And I think we should also involve the involvement of the students of both universities to set up the program, because I believe they have some ideas that sometimes we never have it in our mind, because we should consider that they have innovation in having collaboration or program between the two culture, the two countries. So if we can also give more rooms to the students of the both countries, to both university, to meet in one session, so let them discuss about the program that they really need in the near future. I think this is just a suggestion, Ambassador Wirana, from our side. Ibu Aisyah, Professor Aisyah, I think you want to add something, please.
Thank you, Bapak Widya Rahmanto, Charge d'Affaires of the Indonesian Embassy. Thank you. I think it's enough for the from Bapak Widya Rahmanto. As my duty as education and culture attaché, I will support and assist for the collaboration between Universitas Pancasila and the Ateneo de Manila, not only for the School of Law or with the Universitas Pancasila with the Faculty of Law, but maybe for the other department can be to making the collaboration between the university to university to under umbrella for the MoU, maybe can be to expand between the other department. So I think it's we hopefully the collaborations can be to running well until the activity can be to implemented for both of this faculty. Thank you, Bapak Widya Rahmanto. Back to Pak Ambassador. Thank you so much.
I thank you, Professor Aisha. Well, as I already mentioned earlier, that we all value a lot, the continuous support of the embassy in our endeavor to establish cooperation or collaboration for the mutual benefit. So I think we already come to the end of the program. But before concluding, may I invite perhaps a closing remarks from Ateneo de Manila. I don't know who will be charged with giving some closing remarks. I give the floor to you, sir.
Joey. So I guess it's me, right? So once again, thank you for like it's an honor for me to represent the Ateneo de Manila University in this ceremony, and I'd like to thank the University of Pangasilas for extending this kind of partnership with us. I'm sure we're all excited to move into the initiatives that you've identified. I'm sure Dean Joey Hofilenya will pursue these initiatives, and I hope as well that this partnership will actually extend to other areas in the university, and I do look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you again, and good afternoon.
I thank you, Mr. Vice President. So if there is no other comments, so I then close our meeting by conveying our sincere thanks to all colleagues from the Ateneo de Manila University, and also our sincere thanks to the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Manila, as well as of course, to our rector, Professor Dr. Edito Tendratmo, who was so kind, to be in person among us, and also the technical staff who has been preparing for sometimes this event. So I hope that you are all safe and healthy, and wish you a very good afternoon. And of course, till we meet again, either in person or virtually. I thank you very much to all of you, and good afternoon and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all Bapak Rektor and the colleagues, and from the Ateneo de Manila. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Again, to all of you, Pak Widi, Ibu, Prof. Aisyah, thank you very much. Looking forward to see you in Manila very soon.
Same here. Yes. Looking forward to that opportunity to meet in person.
Is this a quarantine imposed at right now in Manila?
Right now, yes, the government has allows certain limited kind of movement. So I think essentially is that if you don't have any business being out, you stay home, and if you can work from home, then you work from home. So, but of course, it's a balancing because the economy needs to run as well. So for us, for school continues to be on a remote online basis.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Bye-bye. So have
Thank
a
you.
good day till we meet again.
All right.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Joy.
Bye.
Thank you Pak
Bye
Rana,
sama
Pak
Bu
Edi,
Atik, Bu. Terima kasih banyak ya.
Terima kasih banyak Bapak.
Rana,
Sehat selalu
Pak
Pak.
Edi, Pak
Ya,
Rektor.
terima kasih, Pak Rektor.
Oke, bye-bye.
Bapak.
Good day.
Keep safe.